Hello, Dr. Holston. I'm here with Miss Archibald. She is the director slash president of Mahia Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to be asking her a few questions about Mahia and the history of Mahia. So I just would like to start with, how did you become president of Chamber of Commerce?
Okay, well, my husband and I, do I need to talk to you or to him?
Either or, you can talk to me.
Okay, my husband and I and family owned Exxon stores and an Exxon fuel distributorship. So we were born and raised in Mahia, grew up in Mahia, went off to college and came back to raise our families, and we have that business. I was part of the Chamber of Commerce on the board and was part of all of the events and festivals and things that the Chamber produced back in the early 90s all the way through until we sold our business. But me with that position with the Chamber and Mahia and knowing so many people, working with the city to make different events happen, different ideas come to be, they offered the position of director and I went, well, I'm already doing this. So I applied for the job and now I've been executive director and president for 15 and a half years. That's how that came to be.
And where do you see Mahia going in the future? Like, how do you see us growing?
Being a small city, I like to say small city instead of community, it makes us bigger because we are, a town of over 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Granted, our census showed up, 10 years ago or more, only 7,000, a little over 7,000, but doing our own in-house city of Mahia count, we are definitely a town over 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
We are sitting at a major crossroads of Highway 84 and 14. That's a major crossroads for Texas with that spur to 171. So we're a big connector between 35 and 45, and we have a lot of industrial space available. So we've been seeing it growing, and the opportunities are great because our land prices are still yes, they're growing also at a high rate, but we still have good land prices, and lots of outlying areas, not just industrial park, but outlying areas that people could come in, and they are interested in land, to build a manufacturer of some sort, So that would bring more people. We do have a housing need, and that is kind of being met also with some individuals that are building some homes, so.
Okay.
I see it continue growing.
Yes, ma'am. Same.
Okay, the next question.
Okay.
I can't read it.
Okay, so question one is, when locals see you on the street or in the community or at a formal event, what is something they usually say to you, or how is it that they approach you?
Well, everyone's friendly. I love that. I just saw you working.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was like, I didn't realize until I heard your voice. I went, that's how it is. I meet and greet people, and sometimes I really don't remember their names.
Yes, ma'am.
But they know me, and and they talk about the rodeo that's coming. Oh, when is the rodeo? Oh, we're still gonna have the rodeo. Right now that's what people are doing.
In fact, I might be singing the national anthem this year at the rodeo.
In fact, I sure hope he is. I'm planning on it. June 25th through 6th through 7th. So you pick your day.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, the next question is, this is a hard question. How many children in Mahia live in poverty, are food insecure, and are considered at risk?
Okay, well, I don't have that number. I should have that, but I know it's a lot. And I'll tell you the reason why, because with the Mahia does have the grant where they can get 3 meals a day in Mahia. And since the COVID-19 has happened, our buses go out every day, and I know they go as far as it's this side of the river in the state highway on 14, which is quite a ways out, but it includes our Mahia ISD district. and they go to down 39 to the apartment complex, and they sit, and people come to them to get their meals for their children. So that's 18 and under. That's the group we're talking about. Also, First Methodist Church has been doing this for quite some time, and it's called the Pacts of Kindness, because there is a need for these children we're talking about, that they have nourishment through the weekend as well. So there's been enough studies done locally that we have quite a bit of children. I'm thinking they do 100 packets. That's what they have been doing in the past, and that number has grown a little bit. But our Mahia ISD is really meeting that need. They're doing a great job.
Do you think our main streets downtown is healthy and it's successful? If not, what would you do to change that?
Okay, so if you're considering we consider Main Street, Milam.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, we're doing really, really well there. Okay, but then we talk about downtown. It is doing well, if you look at in the past where we had a bustling big downtown. Okay, and then when Walmart came in, 20 years ago, our downtown began to die, and you've been part of seeing that, and I have for sure. But knowing that we have these small boutiques, we have such a great number of this, I'm going to say this 35 to 40-year-old age that are interested in Mahia, and they want to raise their children here, or in the small towns outlying that are 15 minutes away, Wortham, Groesbeck. But they want this downtown atmosphere. So we're seeing it as like, yay, it's a good thing. I think one thing that would improve businesses, and here we have the one restaurant downtown too, is to have more of the loft apartments, more of the home, dwelling,
more
family dwelling or single dwelling, and that has been addressed with Mr. Sterling and with Mr. Condon working on their buildings that they're renovating. So I can see that would be a plus, and it just has to. It's all about money and how much money they have to make that happen.
Yes, ma'am.
But people are interested, and you've been seeing yourself in the last 3 to 4 years, the growth. It's nice.
Yes, ma'am. It is.
We're just going to keep on.
Keep pushing.
Yep.
If you could change one thing about our zoning code, what would it be?
About what?
Our zoning code.
Oh, zoning code. I'm not really sure. I'm thinking that one of them, are you talking about like one of the precincts? One of them is like extremely large. I think it's larger than the others, and that's always, I think that's one of the things I've been questioning. Why is that zone so, and I know it has to do with population, but I think it's time to readdress some of those to make them more
equal.
Yeah.
How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process of our town?
Well, as always, we have a really diverse business map of, from our nail salons, our barber shops, our boutiques, and then our retail big box or, corporate retail stores. We have such a diverse division of all that. Using those people in those positions on our chamber board makes a really big difference. That's what I try to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Get a combo of different people that really are interested in Mahia and really interested in making their business grow, and they're really interested in seeing Mahia become better and better. That's who I like to put onto my board. I always have the Dean of Navarro College on our chamber board. Now last year, Christina went off in October, our Dean at Navarro College presently. She went off because she'd been on for 3 years. So this is the first year I don't have someone with Navarro College on the board, but I'm hoping next year, and you have to have a year hiatus, so to speak. If you've been on the board for 3 years, oh, you have to take a year off before you come back on. That's just part of the bylaws. So, that's what I try to do, always, and look forward to doing, keeping that up, having different, having a boutique owner on our board. Navarro College, Walmart, having those interests, that's it.
No.
Or did it go away?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's better.
Yes. How has COVID-19 affected your term, or, well, I wouldn't say term, well, how has it affected your life?
Yeah.
And how do you plan on creating a safe and efficient community?
It's strange.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, it's been strange because, our office is inside the EDC building.
Mm-hmm.
So EDC just closed down immediately. And so did our little small business office that's with Navarro College.
Mm-hmm.
She closed down first, like, okay. Well, I've been staying open as much as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Then they didn't want anybody coming in, so I finally did put the little note up. I can't remember what day, but, so it has been, but my position with the city, I'm not part of the city, but the city manager and the council and the police department, fire department, they all consider me part of the city government. I'm part of our staff meetings. We're used to meeting every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. So that had to end. But I've been part of the emergency management meetings that began. The first one was March 12th at 10:30. I'll never forget that. That's like, wow. And we were like, oh, well, okay, that's,
Yes,
but our city manager is so great in keeping us informed. He said, I just wanted you all to know what was happening. These are the things I'm seeing. They go, well, what if it gets worse? Well, these things would be coming into place. And then he mentioned curfew. I'm going, curfew? Well, it ended up happening. It ended up happening. So it's affected what I'm doing because that's been so time consuming, and keeping our Facebook page, my area Chamber of Commerce, front and center with Limestone County Emergency Management updates and City of Mejia updates, city notices. So when you touch on to my chamber Facebook page, you can actually touch the link and it takes you to the latest numbers and the latest notifications from the city.
Yes.
So I've enjoyed that part. It's been, but our city manager, he said, Linda, I need your help to keep people informed. So that's what I devised,
Yes, ma'am.
So it's kept me from thinking and doing as much work as I usually would be on rodeo and July 4th. So that's a little scary right now because we've got a huge event happening. And our fingers are crossed, and I think it will happen. It's going to be real close because that's June 25th through the 27th, and then July 4th the next weekend. So it's affected. People have called in. I don't know what that call was we just missed, but they call in asking about water department and about curfews and what does it mean. So we've just keeping the calm, and that's exactly what our city manager said to do.
Yes, ma'am.
On March 12th, he said, I'm telling you all this because it's got us to keep the people calm and not panic. So that's what we've done. That's what I've done.
I understand. I do it at work.
There you go. Good job.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you already answered that earlier. It was the question about children and food in school.
Okay.
But you provided us with an answer already. Will you construct a plan to help the plethora of students receive, well, you already answered that one too.
Yeah.
When you think of Mejia, what comes to mind?
I just think of the people, really. I read that question over this morning and I just think of all the people and all the connections and how generous. Okay, Mejia is a generous, friendly place.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And what we have to offer as far as our churches and our awesome school district, we're very fortunate.
Yes, ma'am.
To live in Mejia, Texas. Now, granted, we can't do some of the city things, but we're not far from the city. But I always say, I've said this, making sure that July 4th event happens and that rodeo happens, because that brings a lot of people to Mejia that spend that outside money. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get people coming here to spend their money, so we don't just keep spending our own money on our own town, but growing it in that direction. we have a lot to offer.